a true content creator. Nobody cares about my content.
And we are live! Hello, guys, gals, and binary pals. Welcome to episode 6 of Mike's campaign of Sugoi Sauce. We are here with our friends and fellow adventurers, going from left to right. We have Mr. Babbage Charles, Jim, the Gnome Tinkerer.
How's it going?
Hugh, Mew, however you want to pronounce his name. Jeff, the Furblog Druid. Canaan, Stormblessed, aka Zach, the High Elf Monk. And then the Blessed Bellarmine as the Knowledge Cleric. Hello. When we last met, when we last were with our heroes, assuming you want to call them that may be a bit of an over-optimistic judgment. They had just experimented with some interesting food after having an interesting conversation with a very eccentric orc wizard cook type person by the name of Cognind. They had successfully alienated a small girl by the name of River, and they had successfully gained a piece of knowledge regarding the history of the place that they're in.
Oh, yes.
Right, specifically referring to a evil wizard person. I did not mean to do that, but here we are. I did not mean to pop out my chat again, but these things happen. Grab out my...
We learned a whole bunch of stuff about the history of Crescent Isle.
Yes.
Namely, the fact that we're in it.
Yes, where you actually are and how it has its own history. And where did I put my... Here we go. And Mr. Revik, who your characters all at least have some glimpsing knowledge of in your own personal histories of being really, really, really evil from like 100 years ago. And we are finishing up. You were just finishing up dinner or whatever this meal you want to be was. It was sort of like a 3 o'clock, 4 o'clock afternoon kind of deal, maybe supper. But and we'd also learned that the mana crystal, aka the plot driving device, also tends to resonate and seems to stabilize magic around it when it's cast. That this wizard also happens to have examples of scattered all throughout his workspace, lab slash kitchen slash where you currently are residing. So with that,
we threw around the idea of breaking it up so we could each have a piece, and he said this one's pretty special. Shouldn't do it. Try to find some new ones.
Yes, that is a very good summary of what happened. So with that, you've all finished up your meals, or at least as much of it as you're willing to touch. Bellarmine has chosen to not risk whatever this kind of weird, bizarre situation is with the food. You is still got this Super Saiyan glow kind of thing going on. And with that, I turn it to the characters. What do you want to do at this point? It is probably actually more like 5 p.m. at this point. Mid early or late afternoon, early evening time frame. Not that there's any windows in this tower, but I mean you just have a sense of how much time has passed.
We asked the orc, hey, any chance of exploring this tower?
I suggest you don't go down. If you want to go around, I suggest you go upstairs. I can certainly bring you to the library if you are interested in some of the local lore. I must warn you, it is rather eccentric. Many of the books are old, very, very, very fragile, so you must be very careful. There are some that may just turn to dust. I tend to leave most of them alone because it gets in the way of my own research. But please respect just going up 1 floor to the library, leave my bedroom alone, which is above the library, and stay out of River's room down 1 floor below. Please.
Is there anything on the 6th floor?
My bedroom.
I thought that was the 5th floor.
Oh, wait a minute. Second, first. Oh, sorry. Yeah, that is the 5th floor. The sixth floor is the ceiling. There is no 6th floor.
And what's below us?
You have River's room, below that, Cuddle's room, and then there's just the basement, which is all junk. My storage space of random smatterings of things.
Junk? Junk? Babbage might be interested in junk.
What kind of junk are you calling junk?
Oh, just the random... Some of it's just old pieces of statues, some old... I'd have to let you go down there and wander around. It's sort of just been this storage space where I've dumped things from whenever the previous owner was taking up all kinds of space.
I'd be happy to go down and catalog some of it. Can't be too organized. I've always said organization is key.
If that's something that would really interest you, that's certainly fine. I would be remiss if I did not point out that the town will likely be.
I need to get my accent straight.
Are you okay?
The town will be likely expecting you down at the local tavern, just as sort of an unofficial welcoming for anybody that's new.
Yeah, Julie mentioned something about the tavern tonight. That's for post-dinner. This was just early pre-dinner.
If you would like me to try, I could easily come up with a whole other stew. If you want, if you're still hungry.
We've been invited elsewhere. I don't want to be rude.
He looks a little sullen at the lack of another
But
opportunity.
I should go at least see what you got in the basement. See what kind of effort we're talking about.
Very well. Mr. Bellarmine, sir, was it?
I don't remember if you actually introduced yourself or not.
Yeah.
Feel free to go upstairs and rummage through the library. Anybody else that would want to, if you want to see the basement, you can follow me.
And he looks to Canadian and you.
Feel free to continue to use the stew that I have available to you.
I look at him. I just say, "Is this gonna help us get home faster and save everybody?" And then let's go to the basement. Fine.
He says that to me. I'm stuffing my face filled with mushrooms, and I say, "You will have to show you where to find the best mushrooms in the forest." How?
Oh, if you have a better idea of how to find some good ingredients, Cognan will be very happy.
So with that, Babbage, or clearly Bellarmine, just ran up to the library on his own. Just took off. All good. All right.
I had permission this time.
Yes, you did.
True.
Are you coming downstairs? Okay, everybody's coming downstairs. I'm just gonna grab you all. All right, so going from, I'm gonna move you all to, so you end up in the stairs up here to the top right corner, where you are now walking through what clearly seems like a bedchamber of sorts. I mean, you've got the bed, carpet, there's the desk over here. I mean, it's pretty straightforward. It looks like a wash basin. As you continue to move down, I need to reveal places. As you're going down this part of the stairs, Cognan just says,
Whatever you do, stay on the stairs. Cuddles can be a bit jumpy around strangers.
Reveal, here we go. Come on. Why aren't you? Why is this not working? Reveal areas. Let's just do this. There we go. So you all end up switching to the object layer. So you
Cuddles
all...
the owl bear?
Yeah.
So yeah, as you come down the stairs, you see this large, lumbering owlbear kind of just eyeing, like walking around the corner of this tower and just eyeing you all, and you hear the low guttural growl that you heard from before, now much louder.
The same one?
Is that the one we saved?
No, this one's much more kept. Like you see, some of the hair in the back of its head seems to be braid. There's a bow in one corner, above one of its ears. But the demeanor, you kind of you don't really need to make an inside check to say the demeanor of this thing looks intimidating. Although I will say that you sort of get a sense that that's just you know that it's just like a facade, that it's it's trying to look all aggressive, but your character knows instantly looking at it, it's it's just putting on a show.
Well, I'm just gonna, take my time along the wall here.
I'll start letting out a nice ho, ho, and I say to it in owlbear using
Druidcraft?
speech relief.
Oh yeah.
Well, no, Druid is a spell.
Oh yeah,
This
right. You're
there, little one. It's good to look tough for the outside world, but we are no threat to you.
it kind of perks up at that, and sort of like huffs a little bit, and then how would an owlbear? Trying to think of what a dog would do. Kind of huffs at that, like kind of like spins around in a circle, and just kind of like sits down and looks more comfortable and at ease. So you've met Cuddles.
Quite an interesting pet.
And then
What's
you
this?
that's river off map. And then the four of you end up basically here.
Oh my.
So it's just a lot of random stuff. Now the map isn't
Everything is in here.
Yeah, the map is not 100% accurate. Like if you see a thing, that doesn't necessarily mean that thing is in there.
Aw, you mean there isn't a giant orca in a net?
Right? But yeah,
That's
no,
cool.
it is a random it's a hoarder's nightmare. It's a tinker's probably dream come true.
Yeah.
But it's just like it's just random assortment of just like I don't you like there's you see some like cable, fishing wire, a whole lot of like some crates. Like it's a whole random smattering of stuff.
Hang on, I'm writing all that down. You said
Yep.
cable?
There's some cabling. There's there's various different crates, barrels. You don't know what's in
When
it.
you say cable, you mean metal cable?
Yes. Like fishing wire. There is netting. A bunch of like old beat up, look like pieces of sculpture that have fallen apart. I mean, some of the picture's accurate, but it does just seem to be like this random smattering of I do not have a list that I can hand you. I can generate.
No
one and
worries.
get it to you in a
I
minute.
don't expect that. I just
Yeah.
anything you say, I do want to write down.
That's fair.
If I were to try and eyeball over the room and make an estimate of how much time it would take to catalog everything in the room, what would you say I would come up with as a number?
Roll a perception check for me.
Perception. On my character sheet, please. Thank you, me.
Okay. To catalog all this, you think it would take you a good day? Like a good solid 8 hours of work of like
Perfect.
moving things around. Yeah.
Luckily, I am tireless,
Yes.
so I plan to spend my night in this basement and come up with a full catalog of its contents.
Wow. Okay.
And like he goes in, like you see Cognan like with that statement, like you see him wander into a corner here. You do see some of his, like these four globes you see here. Yeah, they're actually like imagine chemistry set style beakers with some of like the powders that he had, but they're different.
Like an Erlenmeyer flask?
I should probably know what that is.
Oh, my aching back. What? A bunch of coyotes are just screaming. They must have killed something else.
Oh man. The man who lives in the woods. Yes, Erlenmeyer flasks. But it's full of the powder. Like it looks like similar to the powder stuff he had before, but but they're mixtures of colors. It looks and like they average out as the colors you see there. But you see him like pull a drawer out, grab some parchment and an ink vial and and like what look clearly like he opens up this drawer. There's clearly a whole bunch of notes and random stuff in this drawer, but he like pulls out a scrap of paper or a couple like an inkwell and an ink feather and places it on the table for you. It's like
If you get a chance, this would be fantastic.
and this giant yellow rectangle you do here is a door that leads outside. By the way, so there is a door at the basement level.
Hey, Cognan, you said this is just junk storage. I happen to be, by trade, I know we haven't spent too much time together, a tinkerer by sorts. Would you mind if I, or a better way to say it is, could I help myself to any of the junk that you have just sitting down here if I needed to procure it for my purposes?
As long as it has no magical properties,
And he like points around the edges of the room, like
I don't have any of the crystals down here, so I'd rather you didn't do anything that could potentially make the bottom of the tower go away or something bizarre.
Certainly
If it
understand
seems-
that.
Yeah, if it seems to have anything of a magical or arcane property, please check with me first. Otherwise,
As
this
he's
is.
saying this, I start chuckling and I give Charles a big slap on the back and go, "Ha, little one, this must be a good day for you."
Can I ask a question?
Always.
How long would it take
Okay,
me
I
to
don't follow
read all these books in the library?
Months, if not years. There's a lot of books in here. Although I mean, I mean, like you said, as you look through the shelves, there's dust covering most of them. Like, it looks like he hasn't really disturbed some of them because you see like a couple of books that look like they've like fallen off and just like fallen to tatters. Like the habit, like you get a sense because you've been in libraries before, like the moisture control in here to like maintain the books like has not been well kept.
But have some of the books been recently disturbed, read, or used?
You see a couple that are piled out on the I mean the table you've already sort of looked open. You stumbled across the history that was already there. There is a smattering of books that have been recently looked at. Your quick perusal.
How many in that smattering?
You guessed 20.
How long would it take me to read those 20 books?
I mean, they look pretty thick. They're not all in common. Some of them are in Elven. Some of them are in what languages do you know?
Well, let me see. I've got few languages.
He knows.
He would know a lot because he has a knowledge. Yeah.
He knows Celestial, Common, Giant, Sylvan, and Undercommon.
Sylvan, Undercommon. None of them are in Undercommon. You said Giant, Celestial, Sylvan, Undercommon, and what?
Common.
Oh, just Common. Okay. So, okay. Most of them are in Common. 2 of them are in Sylvan. Let me think. Actually, here, one second. 15 of them are in Common, as you quickly peruse the covers. 2 of them are in Sylvan. 3 of them are in Elven, but you think you could probably get the general sense of it because Elven and Sylvan share a lot of similarities. But I mean, if you wanted to save those for however you wanted to do it.
So I start with the common. How many books can I read in an evening?
That's an interesting question. You are well read. Are you trying to like? Are you skimming them? Are you reading like word for word? Are you just trying to like top sentence or paragraph? You're just power reading, like how or speed reading? How would you do this?
Evelyn Wood.
Say again.
Evelyn Wood.
Speed reading?
You guys don't know Evelyn Wood.
I do not.
Speed
know.
reading. Evelyn Wood.
Okay.
Evelyn
You
Wood
imagine you could get. All right. So from my own speed reading experience, and you're a knowledge
Mike, I
cleric.
sent you a thing that might help.
Where did you send it?
I've just messaged it to you on Discord, like your face.
Oh, you sent it to the other one.
It's like a crowdsourced Stack Exchange discussion on how long it would take to read and learn from a book in 5e.
Wait, where did you send it?
I messaged it to you in Discord. Mike, aka Merwin.
Oh, directly to me. Got it.
Yeah, that's why I said your face. That's what I meant by that.
Okay. All right. Stand by.
I just want to absorb as much knowledge as I can from this library as possible because it looks like a pretty interesting place, and I'm not exactly sure who was in here before.
Okay. Let me get back to you on that answer. I'm going to say for now, you think. I mean, some of these are pretty dense book. Like some of these are pretty dense books. Some of them are just like the first one you pick up seems to be some sort of just like a travel guide for the local area. As a matter of fact, let's do this.
That's important.
Yeah, I will. In fact, it looks like an artist's representation, but I'm gonna give you. Let's see, where is it? You stumble across. I was gonna show this to you later, but we can show it to you now. This. And let me know if you. Well, yeah, you have that in your. So that's it looks old, and like I said, it doesn't look like it was something that was meant to be used for like cartography or like measuring actual distances. It seems more of like a artist representation of what.
Right.
But you have stumbled across that in your searching through the books. But beyond that, you think you could probably get through. Oh, let's say one book every 3 hours. So we'll say like, well, let's just make it like, so 3 books in a night, or 3 books every 8 hours roughly. So
I pull out a parchment and I begin to sketch this map, so I have a recording of it.
okay, very good. It's now you'll find it in your journal from now on. But so you're making a copy of it for yourself. Got it. All right.
Yeah,
So
well, that's how I'll find it in my journal because I'm not going to steal the guy's book,
okay. Good on you.
Nor his.
All right. Canadian,
You're
what
gonna
are
have
you
to steal
doing right now?
You're gonna have to steal his parchment.
I'm not going to steal his. I'm not going to steal his whatever it is made of on parchment. Yeah, maybe it's parchment. It could be.
Well, like, what are you writing on?
All
I'm
right.
writing on parchment.
Zach, what are you up to?
Yeah, so at this point, I am just going to kind of like look around at all this crap in the basement and be like, and then I'm going to go lay on this couch.
All right.
And then I'll say to Babbage, I'll say, listen, man, if you need me to do something, I'll be over here. I'll help you, but I'd rather just get this whole thing moving here. If we can just get on out.
Canadian, let me talk to you for a second. I sit down on the couch next to him. Canadian, I get the sense that you're not very invested in this town and our situation.
I want to get out of this town, and I want to keep on moving and get off of this floating island, whatever this is.
I agree with you. However, based on my assessment of our situation, I don't think this is the kind of thing that we're just gonna be able to get off the island. I think this might take us some time. As such, I think it's a good idea for us to spend a little time to get to know these fine folk, as they seem to be our only means of respite and resource for however long we may find ourselves staying here. Of course, my ultimate goal is to get off the island back to my home, but since we're going to be here for seemingly a long period of time, it may be worth your while to get invested, make some friends, and take your time here.
At this point, I just kind of I rub my temples. Very well. Very well.
I mean, far be it for me to tell you what to do, but it sounds like you're trying to just put the cart before the horse.
That's exactly what he's trying to do. Well, yeah. Fine. And what do you think that rummaging through this junk is going to help us get out of here?
Well, as you know, I'm a bit of an inventor, and I think this junk, as you put it, might be a great source for me to create all manner of tool and aid in our travels and tribulations that we may encounter while we're here stuck on the Crescent Isle. And if Gognan is kind enough to allow me to utilize what I find here, I may be able to discover some unsung treasures in this pile of what most people would think is refuse. But worry not, I am a tireless worker, and I am happy to spend the evening cataloging. You're welcome to assist if you like, but I certainly won't make you stay up all night as I will.
Tell you what, I want to do a little exploring myself.
In the meantime, I am going to certainly attend our tavern welcome and make good friends with our townfolk here. They seem to be very happy with us being present, and the happier they are, the more they may be able to aid us in our travels.
Where's the assistant with the diary?
She left. She walked out of the tower.
She left in a huff because you pissed her
Yeah.
off.
Yeah. That is an accurate description.
I was going to try to make amends. I was going to give her a gift if she was around.
She is not.
All right, so you know what?
Canadian is heading upstairs. I say, forest friend, maybe we should walk the perimeter. This tower is so stuffy for you, and
yeah.
Cognan.
Hi, yes. Dabu.
I just had one final question before we take our leave for the rest of the evening. Where might I be able to find additional mana crystals? Where'd you get the ones you have?
These have been discovered mostly off of some of the bandits that have attacked the town, as things were found off of them. And the town
Are you
itself,
talking about sky pirates or different bandits?
the same group of people that all live in Junktown, off to the east. But yes, there has been the occasional. Years ago, we had sent folks over into the Iron Outpost to scout out the place off to the northwest, and found a few there. And we believe there may be some scattered about the island otherwise. If you find more, many of the people of Harn's Way can find many uses of them, as you will come to discover, I'm sure, talking to the townsfolk. You've already met, I believe you met, who brought you around?
Julie?
Oh yes, she when she grinds them up into a powder, she's able to turn them into those, her tattoo skills. So you need, once you find some of those, that can be for that purpose as well. As well as the enchantress and the alchemist have been able to conjure up some abilities involving them as well.
Very interesting indeed. All right, well, I don't think we'll take up any more of your time. At least I won't. I'm going to make my way to the tavern for our reception, but I shall find my way back here in this evening, so please keep the door open, as I intend to tidy up this basement. Hopefully I don't keep you folks up.
We'll be... Hopefully, we'll have to probably introduce you to Cuddles if you're going to be here all night, but we can deal with that when you come back.
Okay, well, he can stay upstairs. I'll just be down here. We don't necessarily need to be buddies.
What are you doing?
I'm going with Canadian outside, and then it dawned on me this is the perfect opportunity to try to go find some of those mushrooms.
And I did something that popped me out of it. I'm going back in.
You're actually, yeah. Where is your character?
Yeah,
His character's on the ground floor, but he left roll 20.
Oh, okay.
Well,
all right.
I clicked on the map and it closed everything else out.
Oh, okay.
Just as a note, Dad, those windows you have open with your character sheets, you're gonna have to close and re-pop them out because they won't be connected anymore when you relaunch roll 20.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. So Zach, you and Jeff are leaving. Which way you're going out the door you came in?
Yeah, so I am heading out the way we came in to just kind of walk around town, just see what's going on. I have no interest in spending time in this basement. So
right.
I'm going to head outside and kind of walk around town.
Okay. And Babbage, are you following them, or are you going your own? You're headed.
No, I'm going out the store.
Oh, you're going to the basement door. Okay.
Does the basement door lead outside?
That's what he said.
It is the edge of the tower.
No, I didn't know if we were subterranean, so I'm.
Oh, perfect.
Then I'm gonna go out that way because that makes a lot more sense than going all the way.
Yeah, up 3 floors only to leave. Okay. All right, so you're all going out the basement door. Got it.
I mean, you guys are welcome to go whichever way you want, but I was gonna close out this door.
All right.
Canadian is gonna accompany me while I.
Right. Okay, so while you're all going outside. Robert, you're reading. I take it, yes.
No, I had left the reading. I was trying to come down and talk to the orc.
Ah, okay. As you are coming down the stairs, first off, you for the first time, so you go past the room that you had read the diary. You go further down. You see the owl bear, a different owl bear, that kind of huffs at you as you come down the stairs. But assuming okay. So let's go backward to that. What do you do when you see the owl bear?
I just look at him and keep walking down the stairs.
Okay, so he kind of huffs at you.
Because they already told me not to go down there, so I'm just going by there.
All right, so you make it down to the bottom, and as soon as you get to the top of the stairs, you actually see Cognan is on his way back up, but you also just happen to see Babbage walking out the basement door to go outside.
Hey, where are you guys going?
Oh, I'm sorry. I thought you were up in the library. We were going to head to the tavern for our reception.
Well, I had a map I wanted to show you, but I wanted to show it to this gentleman too, and ask him if he knew what this has in relationship to the place that we're at now.
Oh, you found a travel brochure. Yes, please come spread it out on the table.
So I spread out the copy that I made. I said I didn't take your copy. I just made a sketch for myself because I didn't want to take anything that didn't belong to me.
Hey, look who found Incarnate.
So, his sketch doesn't have as much artistry as this does, but it does have at least general locations. So as he puts the map out on the table, he goes,
Ah, yes, this map is, I want to say, somewhere along the order of 150 years old. But Harm's Way is located here.
and he points at Uldor's tower.
So that's where we've perched. You are physically, you're in Uldor's tower now. In fact, I think everything you see,
And he points at the storeroom, the basement storage area.
Yep.
I think that most of that was Uldor's stuff. He was known as Uldor the Curious. So I think he just collected things.
A
I'm not
tear
really sure.
forms in my eye. I will take up his charge. Carry his banner forward.
Aw. So
Very
yeah.
curious. Hey.
So we are here at Uldor's tower, and he points at it. From what little you may know of the history, you've got the mana.
He points at the mana mine up at the top left corner.
That's what sort of made the place famous.
Vineholm. I'll get out of the accent just to explain. Vineholm was known as. Yeah, go ahead.
Would I believe or assume or know or hear or think that the mana mine would have mana crystals?
Yes.
Well, I was going to add that in one of the books it talks about the mana mine. Where would that mana mine be now in relationship to where we are?
Look at the map.
Well, the mana mine's on the top left corner.
Yeah, except this stuff is water and we're up in the clouds. So did everything float up?
Well, yes, he explained this.
I
but
mean,
it's
so as far what, I mean, I'm not going to assume what you think or know, but what I'm telling you is that this is a map from 150 years ago. You're currently, Harm's Way is where Uldor's tower is currently located.
Right.
I mean, you may recognize High Lake Village, as well as a bridge next to it.
So basically, what you're short of flight, we have a long walk ahead of us.
So the thing crash landed in the bottom left of the Ironwood.
right.
From my understanding of our journey.
Yes.
And Mike's not confirming because that's not how this works. Okay.
Correct.
My question to the orc is the mana mine, did it float up along with Uldor's tower and all of that land?
So, as far as we know here in Harm's Way, none of us have ever made it north of the Rushlands into Wintervane because most of the Sky Pirates and all of the airships that come and raid and seem to take things all come from Junktown.
So he points to Junktown, which is like mid-right. So
we've never, no one that has ever gone up to explore there has ever returned. So we stopped sending people.
I see.
Same with.
Could we conjecture if we can make it through Junktown, past Winterhaven, we might be able to reach the mana mine and maybe find some more mana.
That would be fantastic, but again, as you have
We'd be the first ones to do it.
As you have experienced yourself, the island is not the safest place to wander around.
Sure. I think I understand.
And in fact, he points to the bridge north of Harm's Way, aka Uldor's tower, and says
the pirates actually have a fortification on the east side of that bridge.
Where that mine is?
Yeah, where that cave/mine thing is on the map.
And have you ever attempted to build an airship of any sort?
No, none of us had the expertise. I am someone of the arcane, and almost everybody else here's talents involved.
I think
music.
Babbage might have the expertise.
Yes,
I do have the plans. However, I lack the training.
And
I need to look on the chart.
It takes a significant amount of materials.
Well, materials is one thing, but I need to be able to have 4 affect engines concurrently.
Yeah.
And I don't know at what level I get that.
That's like 18.
I think it's 17.
Yeah.
I did find this book in the library entitled Airships.
Is that true?
Yes. It does.
Wow,
It seems to
alright.
be. It's not a blueprint skeptical design though. It's more of a like a history of like it's almost like if you were looking at a history of flight through the Wright brothers, like
Sure.
initial like design, like some sketches, but like nothing that you could accurately build something off of. Well, you may be able to figure out something from it, but it's not, like I said, it's not blueprints, it's not measurements. It's more like this was the first machine for flight. This was how
So
we
here-
used coal.
Here's the thing. Babbage has all the blueprints, measurements, and knowledge on how to build a single Skyrider. What he doesn't have is 10,000 gold worth of metal, 3,000 gold worth of wood, 6,000 gold worth of stones, and 1,000 gold worth of glass, and the ability to maintain 4 affect engines concurrently.
Babbage, ask the orc if there might be those materials around that we might be able to find or mine.
Combined, if you could.
Assuming this
Well,
conversation.
the material is only 1.5 of the battle, my friend, Mr. Battlemine. I would also need I would either need another tinkerer equal to my capabilities, or I would need to study for likely years.
Well, let's go to the tavern. Let's see if there's one of those maybe in the tavern then.
That would be impressive if a traveling orchestra happened to have a tinkerer with my capabilities, but you never know. Stranger things have happened.
Not everybody, but
somebody's gotta-
not everybody. Not everybody in harm's way was part of the orchestra, but most were. Like,
Somebody's got to fix the instruments.
That's fair enough. I was hoping to make that my paid job while I was here, but that's fine.
I feel like, Mike, at the moment, the only thing there is to do, assuming that the island did move straight up and what's water is now a barrier of air,
right.
is to farm worthless NPCs until I hit level 8. And then at level 8, a wild-shaped giant eagle and just fly us down.
It just fly everybody over to the
just-
mine.
This
Just
is what
Lord of
should
the
have
Rings-
happened- this is what
Just
should
Lord of
have
the
happened
Rings
in
meme
Lord of the
us.
Rings. This is like, we could save a lot of rambling if we just eagles take Frodo to Mount Doom. Got it.
As we learned in the other game, shapeshifting into animals that can travel different terrain can save us a lot of time.
And of course, you're small and light.
That's true. I am
Babbage
very
is small and light.
He is.
I mean, I think someone with the spell jump could probably take me somewhere.
So, any other questions about the map?
Not at this point.
Okay.
Jim has lots of questions. Babbage has fewer.
Okay.
Babbage's main question was to try and confirm, and maybe I'll ask the rest of the party if you think that do you gentlemen think it makes most sense that where we landed, from at least your understanding, is we probably landed on the southeastern section of the Ironwood? Southwestern, I mean?
Yeah, I think so.
You make a lot of sense.
Very good.
Interpret that
Cockney,
any way you want.
you said you haven't been north of the Rushlands. Have you been south into the Southern Wild or the Moors?
We've attended, not me personally. We have had some of the scouts make it across what is left of Three Bridge into the Southern Wild. It gets extra dangerous down there with what seem to be either infestations of giant spiders, other creepy crawly things, and or the occasional walking skeleton. We think something may have happened when the island took off that
Interesting.
allowed Dead Watch to not be as dead.
You does not like Beyond.
So I guess, could you draw me, or at least point out with your finger, sort of a perimeter of the area that you would say is safe and known to the folks here in harm's way?
The safe circle goes around Uldor's Tower, and that's it.
Very good.
Known is mostly just what's basically green. The Ironwood, south of Harm's Way, we set up some sort of logging mill to try to basically chop down a bunch of trees to build the town you see before you now. There have been a few people.
So, I'm sorry. I just remembered this is a reproduction of an old travel brochure. This is not a current date map.
Yes,
This all makes sense to me now.
Yeah, no one has made a current date map.
What happened to the Iron Outpost? Has anybody ever been there, or is it something else now?
No, it's still the Iron Outpost. It seems run down. There's a pack. Part of the problem is there is a band of gnolls. Gnolls, which are like, imagine like those you've been fighting like wolf creatures. Imagine similar things that are like jackals, basically, humanoidish jackals.
Oh, no.
Yeah, Gnoll, Gnolls.
I need a man.
And he points to that like small mountain range that's between Iron Outpost and High Lake Village. He says there's a encampment of gnolls there. No idea how they got there. That seem to have that make travel to the Iron Outpost difficult. So there have been a couple. There have been a couple of attempts to go there just to basically scout it out for supplies and resources, but nobody's really been able to get into the front gate because they get harassed by gnolls on the way.
I wonder what kind of supplies and resources they anticipated might be there.
So the history of the Iron Outpost, as he explains, is that used to be the place that most people would basically come in. Like there used to be a port that was near the Iron Outpost where a lot of the supplies would come in. That was basically like fed the logistics. Like a lot of stuff either came in via the Iron Outpost, Junktown, or Strongmont to basically feed the infrastructure that was built up for all of the wizard schooling that happened in Old Order's Tower and Vineholm and Stonegrove, as well as basically building up Vineholm, as well as getting supplies in to build up Vineholm and then build up the infrastructure that existed around the mana mine, because it's not just a mine, it's also there's like there was like camps around it. There used to be people that lived there because it was very heavily mined, at least for a long time. And really the only 3 safe places that ships could come in was Iron Outpost, Junktown, and Strongmont. Everywhere else was actually very like shoaly or like very shallow water, or it was just dangerous for like storms would bump up against the north side.
I noticed on the map there was both a sea creature and that I sketched over here, and what looked like possibly a dragon that I sketched over here. Have you ever seen any of these?
No, no. We've never seen a dragon or. I mean, if there's been a sea monster that's flying around next to the floating island, that would be extra scary. I think that would just be a dragon.
Well, what I would suggest in my knowledge of cartographers' tools is many times when the folks are drawing maps, they will embellish their maps with visuals. Things like sea monsters and dragons and compasses and ships out to sea are often just visual embellishments, not necessarily representative of the actual contents of those zones.
Or they could be.
Or they could be. But you said this was from a travel brochure, so some graphical embellishments and marketing sound like they're more plausible.
I wish I had brought that book that the map was in, but I didn't want to take it from the library.
I mean, there's nothing. The map, you did a pretty good job of sketching it. There's nothing really additional from the map that you don't already gain from this.
But the map was in a book.
Oh, yes. Oh, the book may have more. So the brochure. I mean, basically the stuff that I've been telling you is what was in the brochure. It was like a small like history of like, hey, this is where Vineholm is not only the center of where most of the
come to sunny High Lake Village.
Right. Where people come to relax and try to or like this is where a lot of like apprentice wizards start in High Lake Village. Then as they grow, as they get old, as they get more senior, they may move into Vineholm.
Now,
or like
you seem
different schools.
You seem pretty knowledgeable. Is there anybody else in this village that has your level of knowledge, or maybe even more?
No. I originally tried to come to this. I stumbled across this place as a person who researched Uldor, as well as just trying to understand the magic. I researched weird magical phenomena, so stumbling across the Crescent Isle a couple of years ago was amazing. But no one else here. I am the local expert when it comes to all things the Crescent Isle.
He's the most knowledgeable person you're gonna find.
I feel like there's no way, as we make our way to the mana mine, there's no way this little one here will pass up Junktown. It just won't happen.
The name is kind of
Well, I mean, it all depends on what's still there.
Well, Junktown exists. Like they know that they've figured out from having to talk to the bandits.
I mean, like
that,
what's still in the town.
Oh,
If it's
yeah,
bandits
fair
and no scrap, then
There's no way to know unless we set eyes on it.
that's very true. But that may be a ways off. I think we should set our eyes first to the tavern and make friends with the folks who have been welcoming us into their homes.
Certainly make friends, but I don't think there's anybody, from what I just heard, there's nobody that we're going to learn anything from because this is the smartest guy in the place.
When it comes to the history of the Crescent Isle, yes, but there's more to meet than meets the eye.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. I'm assuming we're. Any other questions?
No, I'm done.
Very good. I'm going to.
I'm just trying to avoid the tavern as much as possible.
It's not a bar, Dad. It's more of like a bed and breakfast.
I don't do well in large crowds unless I'm in charge.
Fair
All
enough.
right.
So
Well,
are
no
you?
one with a crossbow to your head saying you have to go?
I'll go, but I'm going to keep my eye on my back to the wall and my eye on the people.
Fair enough. All right. With that, bink.
It's nighttime. You made a second map for nighttime. That's so nice.
It is in fact nighttime.
Oh, cool.
Mike, you're amazing.
Made.
I've never put this much effort into a map I've made ever.
Made the map. Yeah.
Alright, fair enough. That's true.
So.
Fair enough.
So you've come out. So you'll notice on the map where you are, you've come out basically at the bottom of the tower. You were in the basement, but like you'll notice, you're actually like you can look above, and like there's a bridge above you that leads to this corner of the place that's not accessible. But you have this road that basically leads in front of you that you see wraps around to what is essentially the bottom of the town, as well as a road that leads north. Yeah, so you're headed that way. Yeah. That's pretty straightforward.
Tavern?
If we were to head north where that arrow is, would that loop back around?
So I'm going to assume you all move up to the fork.
Oh, yeah. Jeff raises a good question. Does this eventually come back to here?
So as you get to that point, you see that it does, and then there's also a gate very similar to the one that you came in on the south side. There's another gate that's basically on the north side that's just that's about you can see it, but it's a little it's off the map. But there is another gate off to the north.
It looks like there's the gate where we came in on the southwest corner.
Yes.
Yeah, there's this.
Now there's a gate at
But
the
it's up
northeast corner. Then what about this right here? Is that also a gate?
It's just an archway. It's
Just
not
an open
It's just an open arch. It seems that they added for.
What a strange. Okay.
Yeah, it actually as you've been wandering around the town, it seems like the town, as you walk through this archway, it almost seems like this. Actually, would anybody? Yeah, you would probably.
Maybe this was the original town, and then they expanded, so there's a new gate. Oh, yeah, that.
So yes, there is that. Let's see. Here we go. Pull out my notes.
And the
Okay.
tavern's number 2.
The tavern is yes, it is number 9.
Number
9
9.
the tavern. 3 was the first house where I tried to sleep. 2 is where the music was being played.
Yep.
And
2 is
1
Dr. Him's house. 1's the tower. You've moved.
Right.
You didn't see
Number-
10. 9 was pointed out to you as the lodge.
Yep.
Gotcha.
5 is the barracks, 4 is the garrison, and those are all the numbers that we know.
Yes. All right. So
know
you
1, 2,
just
3, 4, 5, 9.
you're just walking straight to the 9. I take it, everybody.
Well, it's the first one we're headed to come across, and that's where I assume all the people are.
Yes. So okay. So moving everybody over to.
Dang.
Fearbugs don't have dark vision, right? Even though they're beasts.
It's a big building, man.
I don't remember.
It's good size.
Your character sheet would say one way or the other.
The hell of a tavern.
So you find yourselves.
Fearbogs don't have dark vision.
No.
You
Okay.
know.
Ooh, okay. Give me a second. Da, 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 da.
Look at this anime, bro.
Da, 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 da. Give me a second.
Mike's character tokens are way better than mine.
Is his name Getson?
No.
I guess so.
He almost looks like Alex. If Alex got some black hair dye.
Alex. Alex from where?
Full Metal? I think his name's Alex.
The main
Alex,
character?
yeah, Alex Armstrong. The blonde guy with the mustache.
Oh, okay. Yeah, it's hard to imagine him with. Okay, let's see. I'm gonna put you two. Hold on. So I know the map, the outside made it look like it's. Actually, we're not gonna have you here.
So who all is in there?
Give me a moment.
I feel like our tokens are too big.
Yeah, it's a little. It's tight. It's somewhat tight quarters. There we go. Okay.
Yeah, especially
Silly
for
question. Can you tighten the grid up?
Tighten
You
the
can-
grid up.
You can, but if I was doing this, what I would have done is I would have just made this map a larger grid and then just expanded the image so that 5 feet was 5 feet.
Yeah, I suppose. Well, it's meant to be cozy. But anyway, all right. So you walk in. The place is lit up. The man at the bar notices you and says, "Ah, newcomers, please make yourselves at home." You recognize Tiberius and Dimitri from the guard gate earlier. Julie is sitting basically at this table next to a person you have not met yet. And you have the bartender up here at the bar, basically motioning you into the place.
Yeah, hello.
Please come to the bar, make yourselves at home.
Oh, you don't have to ask me twice.
I
Hello,
try to follow
Julie.
along
Good to see
without
you again.
knocking too much around.
Fair enough.
Yeah,
He said, "Make yourself at home again."
you want to go get a drink?
What do you think?
I think you need a drink. I know I do.
So,
Hello.
How are you in the middle of two grids, Jeff?
Well, you will have.
you can hold Alt and put yourself in between.
Oh, sounds diddly. Look at that.
You will have a mug of your finest mushroom brandy.
Ah, very good. Well,
No,
you'll
I
have
will
to,
not. I would rather an ale.
so you'll have to forgive me. You are new to the town, as I understand it. My apologies. My name is Dolan, and you are very much welcome to my humble establishment. All of you, I'm afraid our abilities to make alcoholic beverages are a bit limited, but I can offer each of you a glass of mead.
Oh, yes, because you have bees. I'll drink mead.
Very good. So he pours Babbage a glass of mead. Robert's hanging around. Would you two like a glass of mead as well?
Very well, thank you, sir.
Passes one to Canadian.
Oh, I should mention, I don't know that I have any currency.
He kind of eyes you suspiciously.
I stop.
What?
I stop with a drink on the way to my lips, like.
What do you all trade with money-wise here in Harm's Way? Certainly not coins of a realm that have been minted by some government that doesn't exist or hold any purchase here.
So the moment you say that, you hear from behind you, like Julie and the other girl, like, "Ah, dang it, he like, ah, shucks." And like Tiberius and Dimitri, like as you all look around, they're like, "Oh man," and Dolan kind of like, "You're a smart one, you are."
Yeah.
He's like, "Oh, I ruined the joke." So Julie like walks up and like pats you on the shoulder, and it's like, "You are clearly a quick one." He was gonna ask you for 300 gold for that drink, and Dolan's just sort of like, but that's all right. The next part's even better. And she walks
Sorry,
back
Mike.
and sits down. No. This is fine. So he's like, "The coin of the realm is entertainment." And he points over to the piano.
Well, glug. I'll be happy to pay for this drink. As Babbage saunters over to the piano.
You need a friend. And he points to you at Canada, he's like, you also ordered a drink.
I sigh, look at the drink, shrug, drink the drink, and walk over to the piano with him.
It's a duo piano?
No.
Or...
So as Canaan walks over to the piano, who's next to him? Tiberius hands you this.
The singing spade. Phenomenal.
Oh, it looks like a keyblade.
And Dolan after he hands it to you, Dolan goes, "Welcome to the singing spade."
The magical shovel, when sung into the handle.
Oh, you get the description? I was going to let you discover it, but that's fine too.
That's funny.
It's a holophoner.
So as he hands you the shovel, Canaan, like the moment you say anything, like your voice is tripled in volume. You're like, and like you move it away and it immediately calms down, but it's like it stuns you at first because no one explains this to you. You just kind of discover it by accident. That it's like, so like it as soon as you put the handle to like you're near your mouth, it magnifies the voice immensely.
Well, Canaan, I told you we had to make friends, so no time like the present. I start doing my best impression of ragtime piano.
Roll.
What is a
performance.
Hang on, what is a piano called in D&D?
Oh, for a tool?
It's not called a piano, yeah.
Oh, I have no idea. Find an appropriate tool. I'll let you roll that.
I mean, all the instruments just run off charisma, so I can just do any instrument.
Yeah, okay. What are you doing during this?
You see, I'm sitting there at the bar. So we don't have the mead yet, right? Because we don't have the currency.
Correct.
I drank mine, and then I went and sat at the piano, happy to pay.
Okay.
I drank mine as well.
All right, fair enough. You both down it. That's fine. He doesn't stop you.
As soon as he said when he said our currency is entertainment, I was like, sounds good to me.
Is the mead in front of me already?
Yes, he did pour it first. He did pour it in front of you.
So I'll drink it, sip it, savor it, and then I'll just sit there, kind of trying to make sense of this, and then you see like the light go on. Like the druid has a really good idea.
Okay. So all right. So Babbage starts to play the piano, and probably much to everybody else's shock except him. Well, not the patrons, but the three of you are like, he is dancing on the ivories. It is impressive. Like even Babbage himself is like, this thing's exactly tuned how it should be. And like
it's that one song I learned from my lessons as a child that I know how to play, and that's it.
So yeah, Canaan, what are you doing during this? Like, what do you?
So okay.
You have your spade.
I look at the spade and I'm like, I gently and neatly set the spade down next to the piano, and just begin doing like almost like katas, like acrobatic katas.
Okay.
And, like, standing on my hands and doing flips and I juggle some cups that are on the table, just.
So so move out of the table. The newcomer who you haven't met yet, and Julie will get out of the way. They're like applauding. All right, so roll. I will let you choose between performance and acrobatics for this.
Acrobatics, please.
Okay. All right, so the two of you are making a show of this, which is like it's
take us on the road.
Like you are doing, like you're juggling in sync with the music. Like the fact that you two of you are like, you could tell. Like, okay, Robert, what are you doing during this? Did you go upstairs?
Yeah, I went upstairs and started praying that nobody bothers me.
Oh, no.
All right, we're gonna pause on the performance for a second since you wandered upstairs. All right, so you find yourself. So you wandered upstairs. Nobody. Yeah, you find yourself basically in a. Oh, hold on, I revealed too much.
And Mike, while this is happening, when I see that Canaan jumps in on Babbage's performance,
right?
And I'm gonna step in as well and start doing impersonations of the forest. And I'm gonna start with a mushroom. So I'm just gonna stand there in the shape of a mushroom, just inconspicuously off to the side.
Wait. Do you declare to the audience this is what you're doing, or
No,
it's just up to them to understand this
I don't have the
interpretive?
temple in hand, so I'm just assuming that everyone gets it. And because I have an 8 charisma, I don't realize I'm so just.
This is the best thing you could have ever come up with, Jeff. I love you in this character.
So I want you to roll. I want you to roll a nature and a performance for me.
Oh
The
boy.
the nature is an advantage, but the performance, we'll just see how this turns out.
This is phenomenal.
How do I set it? Well, I guess it just so
It's
nature.
gonna do both. If it's roll, all right. So the 15th nature. Okay. So yeah, you're doing your best mushroom, and
Whoa!
with a -1, he
With
gets
the
an
-1.
18.
That's a disadvantage, isn't it?
No, I just
You
said
didn't say that.
no, the nature was advantage. Performance is just a straight roll. No, I'm not gonna. So. Bellarmine, you're upstairs, walking into what looks like just a lodge of a room. Meanwhile, downstairs, there's this jig that's going on, there's acrobatics happening, and what everybody just assumes is interpretive dance of some sort by the...
And imagine something as big and as stoic as Kimari from Final Fantasy X. Like after doing the mushroom for a little bit, then I do, rainfall, and you just see big paws going like.
But because you have the somehow in Babbage's dancing on the ivories, you have a sense of like you feel like the music that he's playing is somehow in the same rhythm as you felt in nature, so your miming is like in sync with it as Kanan's doing juggling, and it just you get
final wrinkle. Here's the final wrinkle to it. Everyone thinks I'm just doing these random. This is actually a very elaborate, personal, highly detailed, like druidic chant, right? Like this. For other druids here, I'd be communicating all this exquisite detail and intricacies and subtleties of the forest and what's going on. Everyone else is just a butterfly. There's no other druids there, so it's lost. So in my mind, I'm being completely serious, even though I'm supposed to entertain, and everyone's just.
As far as you know, well, you're doing your thing. So this extremely well done performance. Just like no Dolan's, everybody's at the like you. Babbage, well, actually, here, describe how you finished your performance, all three of you. I'm not going to tell you how to do it.
So,
Babbage.
from the piano's perspective, I started playing a song. Then, as the acrobatics joined in, and he was making a great show of it, it became more like cinematic. Like he would do his motions, and it was more like a movie score would follow and strike when certain things happen.
Looney Tunes style.
To cap that all off. I'm playing and I'm looking at him and I'm waiting for his big finish move where I will have like this big, glissando up and down the piano to synchronize with that. So I'm like, as an accompanist would, I'm waiting for the star of the lead of the show to do his big finish so that I can musically accompany it.
So as I approach the end of this kata and this as a performance that I'm doing, I cast Mage Hand and use this extra hand.
No,
he did it. He did it. Keep going.
No, I did it. I get it. I cast Mage Hand. I'm in the zone. I'm just like I'm in the zone. Well, technically it's a cantrip too. So I cast Mage Hand and I grab like an extra cup off the table and I'm using it to like use Mage Hand is pouring whatever cup of drink that was on the table. Is pouring it into my mouth as I'm juggling, and then I do a backflip and I catch all the things that I'm juggling and like finish with a flourish.
And you?
What's your big finish, Jeff?
He's typing. Prances like a mountain.
Wow, the throwback. Graham
You
Eisenberg would be
floats like
so proud.
And then crescendo to the show is me just slowly collapsing and condensing down on the stage into what only I would know is a particular kind of stone that's found in the forest. Just right, like wherever dead front center is that makes it tough for anyone else to move nearby. That's where I become a stone.
right there.
Yes.
Okay.
So wait, just as I finish up, I kind of like I'm like, wow, that was fun, and I turn to Babbage and be like, hey man, you play that pretty good. I'm just kind of like ignoring the crowd.
This conversation is happening over the applause of 6 people, like
exactly
standing and being like, "Wow, that was like woo!" whistles and like that was impressive.
I needed that, man. Thank you.
Professor or Dr. Him, who wandered in basically toward the end of your performance, is like also like applauding and clapping. There was like some like skepticism for a second. Like people got nervous when they saw like this magical hand appear, but like there's nothing bad, and like looked around for a half second, but then nothing bad happens, so everybody's good to go. Thank you. So Robert, blessed Bellarmine the Great, you okay?
For a sec.
What's happening?
Yes. What may I ask? What you are rolling for and why?
Stealth and
Stealth and religion.
So what's okay?
I'm upstairs praying quietly and hoping nobody misses me.
Got it. All right. So, I mean, you're in a hallway. I don't know if you want to if you're like kneeling on the floor, or you at one of the tables. You got options. Excuse me. Let me go and fix. Where is? I'm just gonna take that off for now. Okay. Sitting at a table. Yeah. I mean, you have a hard time. I mean, you're being very dutiful and you're praying. I mean, you hear the commotion going on downstairs quite raucously, and then as loud as applause and cheering as 6 people can make. Like, they're just super impressed by all this. So
don't tempt me with a good time.
Yeah, so Dolan just like, Dolan after like things calm down briefly, it's like, that was something that we have never seen here before. That was amazing. You could do that every night and keep this whole, you will pack this place full of people. That is amazing.
That is, to have performed this without the vision of another druid nearby. Oh, my order would not be happy, but they are not anywhere nearby.
Fair enough.
That's true. What happens in harm's way stays in harm's way.
That's right, little one.
Where is Here she is. So yeah, you have successfully entertained the entire crowd, and there are 3 more glasses of mead waiting for you at the bar.
And part of me, while I understand that I'm supposed to be entertaining, because I have no concept of how to elicit, like, not only do I have a low charisma, but I'm the most antisocial class there is, right? So.
Well, that's how you choose to play it, but yes.
Well, in this setting, right? Like, This is about as far removed from my element as you can get. And as I'm sitting here and they're all, secretly there's a little tear, because it's like, no, that was just a beautiful story of what happens in the forest, and you're all singing like drunken idiots. And what am I getting myself into? But show must go on. All that in one single little look.
To be interpreted by the NPCs as they choose.
It's like the nonverbal communication from like Tempe.
So it's got quiet enough. I sneak downstairs to make sure everybody's still alive.
Wasn't that his name? Tempe Quoth's friend?
Bast?
No, the people that don't have like, they don't have like inflection. They speak non-verbally. They communicate. From the second book, he spends all that time in that community, and they like.
Oh, the Amen, or the Amen. Omen?
Yeah, they like hand gestures speech or
Oh,
whatever.
that's right. I forgot about them. I forgot that's how they talked.
Right. The
And, like
sword.
music is considered like
master.
this extremely intimate thing. Yeah.
Yeah.
Anyway,
Is that there are two more individuals in there? There's four sitting in this table. Who? There looks like two more in there.
So
What do you
you-
got? X-ray vision through the floor?
well, so
No,
at the top, so you're at the top of the stairs. Well, yeah. So you can't. Well, you can't.
Everybody.
I mean,
I heard a lot of noise downstairs. I want to make sure everybody's alive and well.
So, I mean, you can't see around the corner where these two people are, but you do see. I mean, the same. You see mostly the same folks that you can see down into Dolan's bar, and you see Julie, Tiberius, and Dimitri. I don't know how they move there. All right. So yeah, you see. There's. There's three people. I mean, you've met Dr. Him, who's now sitting basically with an elf
this
you
guy?
have not met. Yeah, Dr. Him's the tight tiefling, and then you haven't met the elf that's sitting with him now. And she walked in just as the performance was over, so Dr. Him is now basically elaborating on what you overhear him telling her what he just witnessed.
I don't speak elf, but I do speak Sylvan. Is that close enough?
They're talking in common. I mean, the conversations you hear are in common. I mean, you hear the two winged folk going back and forth. It's like, bro, dude, that was like the best thing I've seen in over a year, man. Roy, it was quite entertaining. That was something special. Julie's talking with she's a gnome, the other one, by the way.
Oh, well, head back to the bar. I will quaff another mead, leave the third for later, and sit across from Julie.
Okay.
And hello again, Julie. I hope you enjoyed the show. I appreciate your form of currency.
You are quite entertaining. Yes.
Who's your friend? He interrupts.
All right. So that conversation's gonna happen. Canadian, what are you doing?
Yeah. So I'm very pleased with myself. So I kind of head back over to the head over to the bar here.
Like all the little movements.
Oh yeah, I just learned about the alt button. And I drink one of those drinks, and I just try to get a conversation with the bartender here. Like, hey, so you guys get a lot of entertainment around here, or?
All right, so that conversation's gonna happen. You.
Point of order, out of character.
Okay.
Jeff can imagine that Babbage, the character, when he sits down across from this gnome, and it's like none of us have seen any of our own kind. Like he does one of these, like pushes the eyebrows back and ready to.
Jeez.
Not you, Jim. Of course, you have charm and panache, but Babbage is, a nerd's
Babbage
nerd.
is less charismatic. He's only a 9.
Oh, we're in the same boat then. What do I do? Well, after about 10, 15 minutes, because again, this is a very intimate.
Well, okay, so I just want to know what you're doing after the entertainment. So Babbage got his drink and sat down.
Yeah.
Canadian's sitting at the bar.
Just segue right into that. So I'm still crouched down as a stone, and I am for like the next 10, 15 minutes until I come to, and then.
All right, so you're a stone. Very good.
Yes, but at some point I'll just get up, and when I see Canadian is probably still there at the bar, I'll go sit down next to him.
All right, so that's 10 minutes of you there. Bellarmine, you're wandering around the bar?
Well, I asked the two people sitting kind of to the north west.
Yep.
Hey, do you guys know anything about the mana mines?
They kind of seem perturbed that you've interrupted their conversation, but yes, we've heard of them. I mean, I would suggest you talk to Cognan about the history of the island itself. We're more just happy to be here and making the best of our situation.
Have you ever done any exploring outside of the immediate area?
All right, we're gonna hold on that. So going around in order. Babbage. So Robert's talking to. All right, so I have 3 different conversations.
I interrupted by saying, "Who's your friend?"
Right, so I have 3 different conversations going on right now. Okay. Oh, this
Time
is
to to role play a whole tavern.
Yes. Well, so Julie, this is our local quartermaster, Teg Specklewit, and she goes,
Sacklewit.
Speckle Wit, and she just kind of like shyly goes, "Hi, that was really good."
Why, thank you. Would you believe it's my first time?
No, no, I wouldn't really. That was good.
You did say quartermaster, right?
I
You
did.
did.
She's the one. So Julie kind of breaks in. Yeah, she's a very, very organized person. She runs the warehouse, makes sure that we all have as much food and the supplies she needs. She's very, 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 very orderly and organized. And you kind of just see her just sort of like, yeah.
Warehouse?
Warehouse? Organized? Supplies?
I knew that was coming.
I see. Well, I should introduce myself more formally. The name is Babbage Charles. I am a tinkerer by trade, an inventor, and a all-around jack of all trades. There's not a tool I can't wield, or not an instrument I can't fiddle on, and I'd be very much interested to come check out your quartermaster store and see what you might have in store for me. No pun intended.
At the mention of you saying it as like a store, she gets like a frown on her face. She's like, "Oh no, things aren't for sale. I have to keep very intricate." And then she kind of like stops for a second and goes, "Wait." Look and like points at you, points at Kennedy, points at Babbage, points at Robert, looks over at Julie. Did you say there were more of them that were coming? Like, yeah, Dimitri said that there was possibly several more survivors that they mentioned that were going to be coming back from a crash site off in the Ironwood. I may have to turn down everybody's rations. To which Julie's like, well, we'll make do. More scouring parties, maybe. She's like, and Teg, like you see Teg like really intensely thinking, almost like
So,
basically forgetting you're there.
Tagger, it sounds like there may be a food shortage.
No,
is
it's
it
just
true?
cuts you off. No, I have very particularly measured to make sure that we have enough food for everybody in town for a good 37 days. But I need to make sure that we're going to be adding 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
37 days?
And there may have to be, if we've got 8 more, you say, let's assume 8 more mouths to feed. It's probably going to have to bring that down to 34. I may have to switch up the water rations. Now I got to make sure. I'm going to have to talk to Whisper about.
She does mental math like I do.
So yeah, she's just at this point she's talking to herself about like numbers, about like managing resources.
Managing resources and numbers. Stand by. I am going to try and solve her problem.
All right, you're doing that. Kanan did.
Okay.
Yeah. So.
That was quite the performance there, young man. That was impressive. By the way, he's the first other adult human male you've come across. Just by the way.
I'm still half elf. Or high elf, I mean. So, in any case.
I forget you're an elf.
So I kind of look at him and I'm like, yeah, I mean, that was just some practice combats and whatnot. Hey, you guys get many visitors around here?
No, which is exactly why we appreciate any form of fresh new entertainment that we can get. As he says, as he's like polishing and cleaning one of the glasses that was chugged by, I think, Babbage before he walked away. No, I mean, the only visitors that we get outside of the occasional crashed airship that was a result of the attack of the pirates or the bandits, is more bandits. They tend to harass and harail us every... Oh gosh, it seems to be once a month, although sometimes it's more often than that. Sometimes they go months leaving us alone.
And where are you guys coming from?
Sometimes it's one of their airships comes close. Thankfully, we've got Cognan's ability tends to scare them off with some of his magical abilities. The occasional, I believe, fireball that he throws up into the air. They have come at this from the gate to the south. They've come at us from the gate from the north. mostly from the north, but yeah, we tend to just stay inside the walls because it's the safest place we've been able to build. I mean, we've been able to manage. Fortunately, they didn't really start harassing us until after we had most of the Singing Spade and the warehouse, which were original 2 buildings back. Oh gosh, it's been 7 years now. Oh, time flies on this island.
Okay, I see. So there are outsiders here, and they do end up flying in at times. All right. And when was the last time you think they came around in one of those airships?
The airships, I think they learned. Oh, it's probably been about 6 months since they did that. I think they finally learned that we're able to defend ourselves even from the air. Although we still get harassed. They still tend to. Sometimes I wonder if they just get bored and try to harangue us from across the walls. But very rarely have they ever actually broken past. They're not very well coordinated, it seems. All right, pause.
Not
You is still a rock. Robert.
It hasn't been 10.
Well,
Not yet. One more round of conversation, and you are still, you are still in character.
This is me like lying completely prone. I'll just for a second, right? Since I'm still a rock.
Yep.
And then like almost completely prone, like you were worshiping, arms flat, but then I'm bear hugging myself. That's the scene.
Actually, all right. So you're doing that. Tiberius kind of walks up to you, is like, "Dude, are you alright, bro? Are you okay? You're just, do you respond to this at all?"
Well, I don't want to be rude and be a true rock, but I know I can't just say I'm fine, so I just start humming in a deep, resonant voice, like a sound stone would make, right?
D, right, T. I got nothing, man. I don't know what. And like Tiberius backs away slowly and sits back down at his table, like that's weird, man. All right, that happened. Bellarmine.
Well, I was quickly kind of sloughed off by the 2 people talking at the table, so I went to the corner of the room and observing everybody like rats in a cage.
That's an interesting description. Okay. So you're not trying to attempt to continue the conversation between him and his friend.
No, they didn't want. They had not much to say, and they weren't particularly interested in me interrupting them.
I mean, so him would have answered your question about traveling to basically say, yeah, we send the foragers out into the woods to get supplies and try to gather food, and we sent Whisper is particularly good at hunting for us, but otherwise we don't tend to. We learned early on that sending people any much further afield than where the forest is green is extremely dangerous.
What's that you say? Oh, you decided to talk. Oh, okay.
He would have said this before you walked away. I just had cut the conversation off to go around the room.
Do you know anything else about how we might be able to get up to the that island that floating there on the northwest corner?
You mean where the why would you want to go to the mana mine?
Well, because maybe there might be some mana there to mine.
He kind of looks at the elf across from him, looks at you again, like we don't have there is not enough people to forage into what is, I think, whatever the word is for a used up mine, like a yeah, as far as we know, at least from what I've learned from Cognan, is that most of the resources out of that mine were long pulled, or at least it ran dry decades, if not longer ago. You're more than welcome to try, but we will not. But
so the mana mine is depleted. So where do you come up with these little shards of mana that I saw around in the tower?
Cognan was the only person. Cognan would be the best person to talk to about that. As I mean, we've seen them occasionally on creatures that have been hunted. Some of the bandits that have come across have them on their person. But beyond, it's extraordinarily rare. I think Cognan has gathered what he has in his tower over years. Where the bandits acquire them, I couldn't tell you. They seem to be far more
Well, if there
trouble
was
than
a man of mine, there might be veins of mana somewhere still on that island.
It is certainly possible, but I guarantee you, sir, the risk is not worth the trip.
All right. Well, I do appreciate the information.
Babbage.
So she trailed off talking about how. Oh, we're just continuing where we left off.
Yeah.
Things haven't been going on while you've been talking. So yeah, so she.
You're
the
trying to
last thing
solve
she
a
said
problem
was,
for her, is what you said.
Right. Jim realized that Babbage is not equipped, but Babbage doesn't realize this. So Babbage is going to attempt to give her some. All right, so I'll just play this out. What do you currently do to ration out your food? What's your system?
Oh, I have it very. She gets like, she like sits up straight and like just seems like very proper with this discussion. Like, oh, I have a very involved system where I categorize and make sure that on my shelves in my warehouse, each individual person is rationed an equal amount of food and water
What?
to make sure that I have
That's
equal.
good. What do people eat around here? Do you farm? Do you hunt? Do you combination of both? Forage? What's the food stores consist of?
It is mostly a combination. It is a combination of 60% hunting, 40%, 30% farming. There's some farmlands that we have off to the north that we have to protect, as well as 10% of people providing their own sustenance with their own personal gardens.
What if I were to find a way to increase production of their personal gardens by implementing a highly efficient irrigation system?
Considering it's people's individual gardens in their own backyards, that would be an impressive feat. If you could possibly if you could increase our personal garden output by 5% each, that would vastly decrease the amount of risk that would be necessary for us to have to forage out or move out into the farmlands up to the north to harvest wheat and corn.
Well, if you could let me survey the quartermaster's storeroom, not the food portion, of course. Survey. I didn't say
As long as you
pilfer.
you will be directly supervised. But I must warn you that I take very, very careful inventory. And
I'm all about careful inventory.
To which Julie like rolls her eyes. She's like, she does inventory every day. I heard that.
I'm all about careful inventory. I'd just like to know, what resources exist to see what inventions can be created.
Julie also looks extremely bored at this conversation.
Yeah, no, it's great.
Which
you don't
care, but like Julie just like. Like you get the sense that like she's used to being the life of the conversation, and the fact that this is not happening, just like almost
I'm
borderline.
way more excited to talk about like.
She's borderline offended that she's not the center of attention right now.
This is great. All right. Maybe I could just come by tomorrow and peruse and get better acclimated with the current system.
1 hour after dawn.
Okay.
Kaden. Move across the room.
So at this point, I'm just kind of continuing the conversation. Oh, you say these bandits raid occasionally, huh? All right. When was the most recent raid? They came about 6 months ago on the ship.
The last time they came in an airship was about I want to say 6 months ago, but I mean the last time they attacked the North Gate was about I want to say a 10-day. But it was just a small skirmish. Basically, a couple of them, I think maybe younger recruits, basically try to use some slings and threw some arrows at the wall. I believe Teg was on duty at the time. Teg and Mercury, I believe, were on guard duty that day, but nothing the two of them couldn't handle. Basically able to scare them off. We do have to forage out to they do seem to leave our farm alone, which is interesting. Off to the north, we've thought we had to guard that for a while, but it seems like for whatever reason, the bandits seem to leave that alone. I don't know. Not really sure why. It's just
Do
it's
they-
north and to the west a bit of the town.
Do they have some goal? Have they ever gotten into the town?
Once. How long ago was that?
Did
He
they
kind of
take
ponders for a
anything?
second. What they stole? I want to say it was one of. Oh, you know what? It was Grimm's. One of Grimm's tools. It was he had a magical hammer that he'd used for making some of his armor. That they took. So they seem to have a particular interest in. So yeah, you would think it'd be supplies and things, or food, or food, water, some of the wood, lumber maybe we built up. But no, it always seems to be when they do attack, they seem to be going after very specific magic items. So Grim lost a hammer once.
Interesting.
I want to say Tag over there, and he points to the gnome that Babbage is talking to. She had a magic quill that went missing once. We
They have specific goals in mind when they do these raids. Interesting. Interesting.
But yeah, it's been extremely rare. And when they do, it's. I will say the one time that they got in and got Grimm's hammer, it was partially because Grimm was using it to defend himself. But that was one of the few times when they actually attacked us from the north and the south at the same time. But that was, gosh, I want to say that was about 2 years ago now. So it's been. They're not, like I said before, they don't seem very well organized. So it's just sort of the reality we live with now. It's part of the reason why I make sure that we keep ourselves entertained. Not much else. Not much else to do but survive while we're here.
Very well. Yes, that makes sense. Okay. Now you can see kind of like something's cooking in my noodle here, so I'm gonna kind of thank you so much for your time, good sir. And I kind of grab one of those drinks, and actually I'm gonna head over to Babbage. Hey, what are you doing down here?
So as you walk over to Babbage, you starts to unrock himself. Animate. I don't. It's been about 10 minutes.
Over there.
You stands up.
I nudge Babbage like he's doing weird stuff over there, huh?
So you stands up. What is you doing now?
Okay, so I see my friends all sitting here, talking to everyone else. Maybe I'm vaguely aware of what's been going on, right?
Yeah, I mean, you could have heard. You probably. It would have been a little difficult because you had multiple conversations all going over, but you probably heard mostly Babbage and Tag's conversation.
Babbage's conversation is still going on, by the way. I am not really acknowledging.
All right, then I'll walk up, ask for another mead, and then will you pour you a glass?
Certainly, and he pours it. That was quite the performance there, sir. I didn't catch your name.
You.
I'm Dolan. I was curious.
Yes, Dolan. You asked you's name. You. And this time I point.
Yeah, well, yeah, you asked to use name, like, you, that's,
You don't say.
That's not confusing at all. May I ask, from where you are from? And, I mean, you wouldn't know the name of your own. You wouldn't know the name that people call your forest.
You may not.
Okay. Well, I haven't had a chance to tell the rest of your compatriots this, but there's 2 rooms upstairs that are all yours. There should be one room's got. Well, there's 2 rooms. Each has 3 beds. Or actually, hold on. No, there's 2 rooms you basically can have at the end of the hall if you go upstairs. One's got 3 beds. One's got 2 beds. You can sort them as you see fit. But no one else is upstairs, and we pretty much use them as temporary housing until we can get you more permanently settled somewhere. So you are.
Are we to make ourselves at home?
With your beds upstairs, yes, there should be. don't know if this actually has one, but there's a wash. Yeah, there's a wash basin up there you can use to clean it yourself. And
As soon as he says that, I just walk away from him pretty quickly,
okay.
and then I'm gonna step outside for a moment and just quickly pick up some, like a handful of dirt and some twigs and some leaves, and then I'm gonna run back inside, run upstairs to either of the two bedrooms, whichever has the biggest bed or the most space, and then just sprinkle mud and dirt and leaves on my bed to make it as if it's my own. So
Okay. So you managed to get into this corner. I don't know if you want to bring yourself up to the top of the map where you can see upstairs. So you managed to get yourself up into the top room. You take the bottom rightmost bed, and you have successfully.
the map's up there. I didn't even see it. Okay.
You have. So the stairs are just south of the bar. They pop you up on the left side, and then you walk all the way down to the hall, take a right turn, and you now have dirt and twigs on this bed. Congratulations.
Rub it all in, and then I'll come back downstairs to join my friends and interrupt at awkward times in the conversation.
Okay. Bellarmine, are you continuing to observe the caged rats?
Yeah, more or less observing what people are saying because I'm not particularly social when it comes to interactions with people.
Okay. All right. So as
What's the proof of the meat?
I'm sorry?
The
How
proof.
strong is it?
Oh, gosh, I don't know. Hold on.
Proof is two
Right.
times
I
percentage.
just
So like vodka's 80 proof.
right.
Meat is typically not
Meat
much
is
more than
typically
like,
lesser. It's more like 27%.
like 30 to 40 proof, I would say.
Yeah, I'm gonna
Yeah.
say it's 20.
Not
Okay.
even.
So not super.
And
high.
what was it served in? A
So
mug?
20 is like 10%. 20 is like a typical white wine.
That sounds about right. So he's been serving them in like tall, almost slightly larger than Actually, no. He wouldn't have access to glass. No, he's just got mugs. You've been serving him in mugs.
So I had 2 mugs of mead. That is okay. That's
Yeah.
Yep. Little guy, 2 mugs of mead. Yeah. So as the effects of the mead get more prominent, I am paying less and less attention to my friends and the rest of the bar, and I'm just going off on totally unhelpful tangents on how trying to be helpful, but like how she could augment her system, like just overly complicated ways to change her catalog system by implementing like absurd ledgers and strange tables and headers, and I don't know how she's reacting to this, but that's just what I'm saying.
Some of it, mostly, she seems offended that you would imply that she doesn't already have the most efficient system possible. So
So
this banter is going back and forth. Yeah.
Of course, your system's great. You know, if you implemented like a ringed binder system that could flip all the way back to the beginning when you get to the end, then becomes an infinite loop. An infinite loop just never have a start or a finish, so you can use them forever.
All right, so Robert's in the corner. You is coming down the stairs. Babbage and Tag are going back and forth. Canadin is witnessing this spectacle.
I'm looking back and forth between like him rambling and
Like
her
watching
just
a
like
tennis match.
and her
all
just
right.
kind of like looking on in horror or just confusion.
Robert, I want you all to make perception checks. Robert is the only person that is not at disadvantage. Everybody else is at disadvantage. Robert, you make a normal perception check.
I think it's hilarious that after that wonderfully charismatic performance that surprised everyone, we do our very best without trying to derail it.
All right, so you gets a 10. Canadian gets an 8, 9. Oh wow! All right. Okay.
Did it work?
Yes.
It did.
Yeah, it popped up. So you got a 9. All right. So through this back and forth that you're having with Tag there, Babbage, you happen to think you hear what sounds like a bell tolling in the distance.
Yeah, so yeah, the infinite loop it never ends. And is that a bell? Is that a bell?
To which, at that, both Tag and Julie are like, "I'm sorry, what?" And everybody, sort of like Dolan and like the whole bar suddenly gets quiet. At that, and then like there is a bell ringing, and just as basically the moment that happens, you see. Hold on. I need to get more efficient at grabbing things.
Singing spade right now.
Say again?
Like where's the actual singing spade right now?
Leaning up against the piano.
I'm gonna run and grab it.
So while you're doing that, this. Ah, dang it. Grab. There we go. This.
Anime Mufasa?
Kind of. Well, I can't remember the name of the cat people.
Rakashka?
No, those are the evil ones. I want to say Khajiits, but that's also wrong. I'm blanking.
Khajiit is from Skyrim.
Right.
Tabaxi?
Thank you. Yes.
Tabaxi.
This lion-looking Tabaxi character comes past, like, slams the door open and goes, "Attack at the south gate!" and sprints back out. At that, he disappears out the door.
And Kane smirks.
At that, you see basically everybody. You see pretty much everybody like get up and start moving toward the door.
Hearing that as sobering a sentence as ever could be uttered, Babbage, filled with liquid courage, is springing to action.
So I want you to
in
make.
attempt
So
to
do me a
impress.
favor. I want you to make a Constitution save. DC 13.
Everybody?
No,
No, just me.
just Skeksis. You are the
Wait,
poisoned. You are the poisoned condition right now.
Wait. You just gave me this ability, and it's a reaction.
Go ahead.
Circle of Omen. I get to add a 1d6 to a saving throw to my good buddy right here.
Hey, nice.
Okay, roll a d6.
It's a DC 13. I don't need a lot.
Tie goes to the saver.
Tie goes. Yes. So. How?
How do you sober me up?
Through the stars, like the stars align just so. I don't know if you want to try to describe how this happens, Jeff.
That's all, Jeff.
Do I have the singing spade yet? Because that was like the very first thing.
Yes, we'll say you do for this, whatever this is.
Okay, give me a second. Okay.
I have a
As
solution
I
if you
see
don't.
my friend about to hurl with the singing spade in an already 3 times as loud voice, so a very loud voice, I'm saying, "Clench the diaphragm, little one."
And
I'm good.
the volume alone like sobers you up. Just like.
I don't have a druidic focus yet, and I kind of want this to be it.
Do you? All right. So okay. So everybody's pouring it. So I mean, the whole room just sort of like shakes at the volume of this for half a second, and people are kind of like startled, but then like continue to all pour out the door. Okay.
That's a precursor of what's to come.
Da-ding. Okay. So I'm not gonna put all the tokens on here, but basically everybody's pouring out of. You're all down here. But yeah, you see everybody sort of pouring out and running. Oh, hold on, I can draw. Well, yeah, I mean, you get the sense. Like basically everybody's running to this bridge across the gap and then moving toward the south gate, which is now you can sense that the bells are ringing from. It's coming from where you originally came into the town.
Over the course of the next minute, I'm going to construct a second flame affect engine.
Okay, yeah, I'd argue it's while you're running.
Yeah, I can do that as a mechanic. That's one of my abilities.
Got it.
Is
Okay.
to quick craft. I think it's called
Gotcha. Okay.
Instacraft. Excuse me, Instacraft.
Gotcha. Give me one.
No, it's not Instacraft. It's something else. I have to find it. quick engine. As a mechanic specialization, at 3rd level, I can construct an affect engine within a minute.
Gotcha.
You can
Okay.
move while constructing the affect engine.
Okay, got it. Constructing said
Am I
affect
still
engine.
slow, by the way, Mike, or is that 24 hours?
Yes, you are.
Okay.
It has not been somehow still not been 24 hours yet. Where it's been a very busy day. Where? Oh, did I archive that? Hold on. No. Where's? Sorry, DMing's having some technical difficulties. Where's?
It's 5 GP, so that goes to 17.
Oh, there it is. Okay. Okay. Moving things around. All right, so Tag, you actually see scurries off into her, into the quartermaster, into the warehouse, which is located number. You've discovered which she wondered. Well, she actually runs off into number 6. You see her run up these stairs. Everybody else seems to be moving across the bridge toward the southern gate. Assuming you're all moving in that direction.
Yes.
Robert.
Yes, I kind of take off and just. I'm very excited and happy, and I kind of run right to the front of the group.
Okay, so you're bolting straight there.
Yep, right there. Do we still have our equipment and everything?
Yeah.
Great.
Yeah, nobody said they dropped anything off. Did you bring the?
Yes.
You have the spade with you. Okay.
Singing spade.
Say again. What was that, Bellarmine?
I just said singing spade.
Yes, he has the singing spade. All right. Running around to the front gate. I will throw you both. Okay, so as you run up, let's see. Dimitri and Tiberius have basically sort of flew directly over, so they kind of beat you here and make it onto the top. This individual, I did move you all, right? We're all okay. So yeah, this individual who was ringing the bell, that's over here, stops and he says, "Ah, the bandits! They just took off to the south. They were utterly harassing and poking and prodding, and it was frustrating. But the problem is over for now. I believe everyone. It'd be wonderful if this could just the man seems very just out of sorts. Him, where did I put his? Oh, dang it, oh, there he is.
Did you base this character off him from the Powerpuff Girls?
What, this guy?
Mm-hmm.
Wait.
You said
Oh. No, but I like where you're going with that. Him does not have lobster hands. No. Or yeah, no, I don't have that. I can't pull that off. So him sort of runs up, is just kind of flustered. I've also the cat person who's I'm also blanking on the race again, is also there. I'm not going to bother with the token, but so a bunch of people from town, the Tabaxi, yeah, the Tabaxi's also there. To which Gentle Him goes, says to the group, all right, let's just calm down, everyone. Looks like it was just another one of their harassing attacks. Confused where they're coming from. To which the Tabaxi at this point walks up and is like, I think we should send a hunting party. To which Hem's like, I don't think that's so wise. I know they haven't attacked us from the south in a while. We have been harassed by them for too long, and we know that they don't have a settlement, or they must have some sort of camp out south. If we track them now, we won't be able to deal with this anymore, and we can root them out before they're harassing us and spending any more of our resources. This is the Tabaxi getting. He's a very burly dude. To which Him is trying to calm him, look, we don't. It's not necessary. We don't have to. And then the Tabaxi just kind of ignores, like, I'm going after them. Who's with me? I really should
I'm
try.
with you.
Huzzah!
To which him's like,
Right.
oh,
Holding,
the
holding
new.
now
I
two
fear.
two red balls of scrap that don't look like anything to anybody but me. I'm with you.
What happens if we use a magical weapon?
Who are you directing that question to?
To whoever's the leader here, I think it was the him.
The red horns individual, yes. Magical items and weapons are fine. That hasn't been a problem in the past. To which, so the Tabaxi now, like, realizing that there's people he hasn't seen before, he's like, oh, we have new people, and they're brave. Excellent. He walks up to you, Babbage, since you're the first one to speak up. Although you've got two red things in your hands, so he like goes to shake your hand, but he's like, okay, for a half second. He's like, I am Lyko, one of the hunters here in the town. Turns to you, Canadian, since you just walked up, grabs your hand with his very large lion paw, and shakes it. Pleasure to make your acquaintance.
Very well.
Let us hunt.
So the longer we hesitate, the farther they'll get. Are we tracking them or are we taking them down?
Both, ideally. Follow.
Track them down and take them down.
To which,
Let's go.
to which the masked individual up top's like, him's like, it's fine. Just let them, like, him looking at see that it's like you all that are going with him. Like, well, if no one else in town's gonna risk their lives. Like Lyko's like, it's fun. Let's. He kind of points up at the Tiberius and Dimitri. Coming with us? Bro, it's kind of dark out. Roy, I'm gonna stick with my brother if that's fine. I'd rather not. I mean, him said. Lyko takes off. They open the gate for him, and he basically starts booking it south on the road. He did, yeah. So I'm assuming everybody follows.
I do.
Yes.
Nice.
Onward.
So it is now past dusk. So it's basically it's at the very end of twilight at this point. So it is dark out. The sky is partially cloudy, so you do have some starlight. The moon is what is it, a quarter going to new, so it is somewhat dark. He doesn't seem to care that it's dark, and he's sort of almost running. I don't know how the rest of you are providing light for yourselves.
I can see.
That actually kind of depends on a question I need to have you as soon as we stop playing. Because it's
Gearbox don't have dark vision, if that's the question.
No, it's not the question.
Okay.
We answered that already. So, okay, sneak preview. When I leveled up, I got an additional third level spell slot. Does that mean I get to pick a new third level spell to go with it?
Yes.
Okay. Then retroactively, I would like that to be daylight.
Cool.
Just find a chance to look through everything. So.
Yeah, that works. All right, so we're gonna move through some. So.
Hey Jim, you like my blanket?
I do.
All right, so we move through. We run past the amphitheater. I'm just gonna jump through maps here just to give you all a sense of movement. So we move past the amphitheater. He's running. It takes not very long for you guys to end up back at this fork, and at this point, there he is. Lyko gets to this point, stops, and starts sort of almost like sniffing around, looking on the ground, trying to get a sense of. You think he's he looks like he's like examining the ground, sniffing, and sort of examining the terrain at this point.
I'm covering him, so I got my two engines in hand, and I'm looking around.
Okay.
I will run over to this same cliff that I climbed previously. I will climb it gingerly, take a peek around the top before I climb up, make sure there's no guys, ready to stab me in the face as I climb. But then look from this higher vantage, so long as it's safe to climb.
Gotcha. Let's see. We're gonna. Oh, you can see that number. Okay. That's unfortunate. Okay. So, Lyko seems to be frustrated, like, I can't seem to find the trail. I'm not sure if they've gone west or south.
Well, let me see. Where did you last find the trail? Where'd you last see it for sure?
I he's sort of just kind of shrugs, like, tracking is not my most strongest ability. Like, I believe I just thought I'd get to the fork and move south. They didn't seem to disappear. They stayed to the road from what I saw, so I thought I could find them from here. Just kind of frustrated. So to here, like, down the road to this point, this is as best as I can.
Are you capable? Are you better suited to picking up a trail?
Would I be? I mean, besides a skill check?
Folks can
Well,
always try, right? If you believe your character would have that kind of background, I am all for it. I mean, you are a man of the woods, so.
I mean, we're in the woods, but we're also on the road. So if we're on a well-traveled road, it's like I think I would have a better notion of tracking if it was like naked underbrush, right?
Well, what is tracking? Survival or nature?
Which one is it? I got these. Let's see. Hold on.
Let's go to Google.
Yeah.
Yeah, it sounds like survival.
So who's proficient in survival?
There's no specific tracking skill in 5e, so it's covered by perception and survival.
All right, so this is what we'll do. Here, you make a perception check. You're just as baffled as Lyco is. Kanadin, since you're up top, you make a perception check.
Right here. Oh, my mouse is stuck. Hang on. There we go.
All right.
Wait, did it roll?
Yeah.
So Kanadin,
Okay.
just as you're climbing up top of that post, you think you see, like, you see what seems like you hear, or no, you see like a flock of birds that almost seems like disturbed that comes off from the south.
Okay, so I not loudly but kind of whisper out, "Hey, there, south. Animal disturbance in the woods."
On that, Lyco just takes off, just starts running.
I'm coming,
I keep up
Lionel!
with
Snarf!
I keep up with them.
Yeah, you do. All right, so you all end up on this road, pretty well worn. Lyco continues to take off down the path. Stops at this point. It is utterly confused. Like, at first he wants to dart off to the left into the woods, and then he's like, wait, no. Then he tries to dart off to the right.
Did you lose the trail again?
I could have sworn.
Here, let me help. What are we looking for?
He kind of ignores you, and he's just like sniffing around the ground, just trying to figure out, like, dang it, where'd they possibly go?
What do you want me to roll?
Oh, actually, hold on. Did I? Oh, no, we're good. If you want to roll survival. Okay. So Babbage, notices what look like very fresh foot trails, basically moving along the side of these wagon ruts, moving further to the south. So,
there's some very fresh foot trails on the sides of these ruts. Is this what you were following before, Lionel?
So, so Lyco goes to starts going to the brush, but then he hears that, comes back, takes a look, yes, and takes off to the south again.
Okay, thank goodness I'm here.
Da, 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 da.
Wow.
You
So
still
after
logging
about,
camp?
yes, So the road, the road kind of gets a bit less traveled. Well, like the wagon ruts basically moved to here, but then you could see, what looks like in use logging camp. Although there doesn't seem to be anybody here. Lyco doesn't seem to stop or care. Bounces around a bit, looks around.
Now, slow down, Lyco. Make sure you keep track of the trail.
This
I
way.
call that aid.
Yeah. He right. All right. He continues to move, basically right past the wagon, right past the logging camp, continuing further to the south.
Babbage makes a mental note of the position of the logging camp.
Dink.
So many maps, I love it.
Oh, you know what? I messed this up. That's right. We'll just no retro do this. So if he gets to this fork. Oh, what did I name this? Hold on. Do I have my? No, I thought Dang it. It's a signpost that basically says a sign to the north that says Old Orr's Tower, and to the south Three Bridge, and to the right it says. Hold on. Nope, come on. The Rushlands.
Rushlands.
Yep. So Lyco at this point continues to.
And I say, that's one of the areas that was below Wintervane and next to Uldor's Tower that we were warned there was a lot of bad things in there on the other side.
That's all well and good. I think I found them. The trail goes right, and he takes off down this path. He actually gets to here, and then he follows. He doesn't actually follow the road. You see him actually go off on a path that's off the woods here.
Well, now, before we go running off, let's make sure we still got the trail.
And he ends up here. Yeah, so you're off the road, and you're at this point you're kind of like you wander down a trail for about maybe 5 minutes. He's going slower now but at this point you're more in your own element. Like we're off the road at this point now. We're kind of in underbrush, and the trail he loses the trail basically at right here at this entrance. Although you see this, it kind of takes off to the left here. Although you do have this ledge here. It's about 10 feet up. So you guys are walking around. Robert's there. Give me a second. I can't. Oh, that's annoying.
And sorry, what's our light source again for this?
None.
You all have been just taking off and going to starlight, so it's very dark at this point.
I can just see.
Yeah, dark vision.
I think I've got a light spell.
If you want to cast that, more power to you.
Let me see if I can find it. I saw it a while back. Command, guiding. No.
So light is a cantrip that you can basically just make something glow that illuminates 20 feet, and you can make it anything you want, from like something you're wearing to a pebble.
Just trying to find it.
Okay.
I don't know where it is. I saw it earlier. Somewhere on the list here.
Should be. Hold on.
Holy symbol, Warhammer.
So if you go, you got to go to so at the top you've got core, bio, and spells. You'll have to click on spells.
Yeah.
So you've got guidance, and then below that you've got light. Uh-oh, we lost Zach.
Nope, sorry. I just clicked back there.
Okay.
Guidance and then light. Where the heck is it?
So to the
Oh.
under your name you see cantrips.
Yeah, there it is. I found it.
Yep. So now
and I'm gonna cast that on my holy symbol.
Okay. So now.
And the holy symbol also has advantages. I'm gonna just open this up here. It says equipped uses a resource and has an attack, but I just casted light on it,
Got it.
so it adds light.
Okay, so now you can see as far as you have on this circle here. Those of you with dark vision basically see that this path kind of goes up north and then goes around a corner.
I see.
But those of you that don't have dark vision can see everywhere that Robert is. So the trail's moving up. Let me grab Lyco, because he would be sort of moving slowly at this point. Everybody's on top of each other. Alright, pause for a moment. Let me... So you find yourself... let's see, the path turns off to the right. Lyco's kind of sticking with you, Robert, since you have a light source, and he's trying to just be protective. Are you wandering into the woods there, Babbage?
Well, these are two trees, right?
Yes. Oh, you're going in between
So
trees. All right.
I would be under the leaves, closer to the trunks.
Got it. Very good. Robert moving around. Lyco's gonna stick with you. All right, still moving down. Give me a moment.
Guys, why don't wait before you go further? Guys, why don't you hang out here? Let me scout ahead for a bit. I could be rather stealthy.
Are you that far back, or are you trying to stick with the group?
Keenan, are you able to see in the dark?
Yes, I am.
Keeping within the light circle.
Okay.
Oh, I didn't know you could see it in the dark.
I sure can.
That's incredible.
So especially Robert with the light. Quit walking ahead. Let me try to sneak ahead and try to see if there's anybody around before we go any further.
Oh, whoops.
We want to take these fellows by surprise.
All right, so Kanadin, roll a stealth check for me.
Yes, I'll attempt to sneak ahead.
Okay.
An exceptionally crappy roll. Wait, hang on, hold. Oh no, I don't have. That's my other character. Never mind, we're good.
Do I see him trying to be stealthy?
I mean, yes.
Well, I guess
your omen. It's not a save. It's just.
So if he was within the circle of light, that would. I'm wondering if I should buff his roll. No, let it ride.
Up to you. All right. So, Kanadin is moving. All right. So, all right. Let me hold on. Here, that should help. Give you an idea where you can go. If you're moving through trees, let me know.
Yeah, I would be moving trunk to trunk, kind of staying off of the main path, but close to it.
All right. So. All right. So you're on. All right. So stop there. How far is your dark vision?
Dark vision checking now.
Let's say it's 120.
I think it's...
Seeing dim light within 60 feet as if you were in bright light, and darkness as if it were dim light.
Okay. All right. Everybody pause for a moment.
So you have dim light indefinite and bright light for 60
bright light
feet.
within 60 feet, yes.
Why did that not... Oh, why is it hiding things? Okay.
Oh.
All right, so you... Not by you, I mean Kanadin. See a camp.
We can all see this right now, Mike.
Yeah, I know, but I don't have dynamic lighting.
I'm going to.
But yeah, so you see... There's these two... Yeah, you see 3 people that are hanging out inside this camp. There is a tent here that seems to... You think there's some activity going on inside of it, as well as a very tiny tent here.
Are those WoW models?
No.
Huh.
What are you doing? All right, so Kane, what are you doing at this point?
So, do I know... have we been following this trail? Do we know that these guys are the bandits that attacked the?
You know that you followed a trail up into the entrance to these woods, and then you
Okay.
follow the path, and you are at a campsite.
All right. So
What you choose to do with that information is up to you.
Right. So I take a look around.
What do you see, Canadian?
And then,
All right, Babbage, roll a stealth check.
Jesus, I jump like this.
All right. Lyco is going to be here.
So
We're gonna.
why don't I run into the camp quickly, blind them with the light, and then you guys can either restrain or attack them.
So that is a fantastic idea, and we're going to pause on that thought because I'm going to make you all roll for initiative, but it's 11:30 and fights take a long time. So we're gonna pause here. If you have thoughts and ideas you want to save, I suggest you throw them in chat for later, so that they're in my game. Because if you throw anything in Discord or anything else, it could move down if we switch areas. So,
Since we're for 2 weeks, is it okay if I just throw it out there now rather than trying to explain it in 2 weeks or 3 weeks?
That's what he's saying. Write it in chat so you remember.
Type it in chat so you remember it. I mean, if you want to explain it now, that's fine.
It'll take 2 seconds.
Okay.
You will walk ahead, and you will use the thunder.
Okay.
Thunder and lightning. Thunder and light.
Don't do initiative rolls now. I'm not gonna save these.
You
for later.
said I will make you roll a no.
Yeah, next time, because I'm not gonna make. We're gonna do that later. So you can. I mean, if you remember that 19, we can use it. But for now, no bother.
We'll see it in chat.
You really did a open job putting together a ton of maps. Wow.
Yeah.
How?
Yeah,
how do
I'm
you?
pretty pleased.
How do you write that in the orange bar like that?
/ME.
EM.
It's how you emote in like any video game.
Or EM. Either way.
All right. With that, I'm going to end the stream just because it's 11:30 and it's late. Thank you all for watching. The many of you. I don't know. Maybe someone did come and I didn't even
zero
notice.
of you.
The 0 of you. Who knows? But with
that seemed like our digital trade show today. There was nobody there.
That's rough. So yes, everybody, say goodbye, internet.
Goodbye, the internet.
Or at least,
Goodbye, the internet.
YouTube or whoever's watching this later. Good night. Sugoi.
What's